Have you ever wondered what a financial planner does or changes when they have a kid? Let's talk about it. I wanted to go through kind of what we changed and maybe some steps that everybody, what did I do to not only prepare for a kid, but what are we doing right now that what changed, I guess. I have a few things in mind, but what do you think, or what comes to mind about what changed, I guess, when we got Ariyah? Ariyah's now what? 19 months?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, almost. Wait, what month are we in?
May.
I think she's closer to 20 months.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll start doing it normally soon.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
I feel like people without kids, they're like, I totally understand that. Because I hated when people are like, oh, they're 17 months. I'm like, I'm not doing the math. I don't know what that means. But when you're living in kid world, it's like, that's how everything is.
Because they're so different from.
It's like the doctor is like
13 months.
Yeah. Yes. Like the doctor will be like, oh, yeah, like each month is important kind of thing. And like the doctors use it. Clothing uses like those. Anyways, once they hit 24 months, it goes to years. So, but anyways, what changed? We redid our will.
So I wanted to talk about that one quickly.
Okay.
And I know it's not that controversial, but I'm going to say it and be very clear.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say.
You know
already.
what I'm going to say.
Because you made a comment. You were like, I would be a bit, provocative was the word you used?
With this comment.
This comment.
So I believe it is a parent's responsibility to look after their children. Sounds crazy. If you have a child if you are responsible for somebody else and you have not prepared in some way for the potential for you not being around anymore, you are a bad parent. I said it.
I just let it hang there. I just want to, I'm not saying anything.
I'll repeat that. I'll repeat it even more. That now that I have told you that, if you choose to not prepare for the eventuality that you'll die, not get a will, not name who's going to look after your children, not make sure that they not have enough life insurance if you need life insurance to provide for this child, then now it's gross negligence because you know. So it is absolutely no excuses. If you have a child, you're responsible for this child. Mm-hmm. It is on you to make sure that if something happens to you, that they are looked after. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. And when you have kids, all the parents will understand that there's so much stuff happens. It can get very messy, etc. So make these adjustments, make these changes before they come. Right? Take the time while the only thing you have to be concerned about is less stuff than you will have to be concerned with afterwards, because you won't be sleeping afterwards and all that fun stuff. But take the time beforehand.
Okay, I'm like, you lost me a little bit. So what you're saying is basically do it before you have the kid?
Yeah, there's 9 months of the kid growing inside of you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's a lot of time in the oven. And afterwards, everybody always says the same thing after you have your first kid.
Yeah.
Because you think you have a little time beforehand, and then you have a kid and you realize...
when you say you're busy before, you're like... And I hate saying that because, yeah, it's like before we had kids, I remember parents would be like, oh, you don't know what tired means and all these comments. Yeah. Well, but at the same time, I understood what they were saying, but you know me, I'm like, just because that's true doesn't make it untrue for me. You know Absolutely, what I mean? Yeah. It's like you only know what you're experiencing. So it's like, you are tired, you are busy. Trust me, it's going to get harder. So
take the opportunity beforehand to prepare for that eventuality. Do a will, make sure you have enough life insurance, do all that stuff beforehand.
To put this in perspective, it is currently 11:30 at night, and unfortunately the podcast that we had prepared is having issues in processing, so we have to get this out. That's why we ended up doing this episode. So
11:50 at night.
Oh, it's 11:50, even better.
11:50.
So
yeah.
we're looking
after this, I'm going to edit and try to get it out for tomorrow.
Life is a little crazy. So we're telling you from a place of true experience that you need to get these things
Get
done.
these things done. Okay, and then what else did we change? What else?
We changed our budget, and we changed.
So because of the way that we budget, it's we I do what I preach, like we control our expenses, and then so we have another separate account for her with her name on it, just like we have all the other accounts, and we put aside money for the stuff that she would need, right?
Yes.
And then we started. Every time that account hits, I think it's about $1,500 in that range. I take a bunch of it and I put it into her investment account for her for other things, whether that is for her when she has a vehicle in many, many years, or her to do dance lessons. I don't know, but the money's going away for her so that the money's there. For me, I don't want to have to say no to big things if I don't have to. And part of that is just spreading that cost over the course of many, many years instead of suddenly having to come up with a
huge
large sums of money just,
yeah,
because she wants to do something. I don't know. So I just felt it prudent to just start putting money aside.
Yep.
Early often makes a big difference.
Yep. And the reason like it sometimes gets a bit high is because we started putting money away before she was even born.
Stuff that needs.
Yeah. But even then we weren't sure on certain things like feeding, like what was she going to need formula? Was she like how much are diapers? You don't know a lot of this stuff before you're a parent. We joke that we would walk by the baby aisle.
Didn't exist.
It didn't exist in grocery stores. It's like, I can just mentally ignore that whole section, and then you get pregnant and you're like, oh my goodness, has this always been here? Like all these things in stores. But anyway, so now, figuring out the costs of things and all that, we had to budget for it. So let's keep cracking on. To be fair, okay, I thought we were going to talk about you being a financial planner and what you're going to teach Ariyah.
Oh, is that what you wanted to talk about?
Well, that was my idea originally.
Okay.
No, I don't want to like overturn the podcast episode.
Again,
it's been a hard day. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, what else did we change? Decide? What did we?
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
Honestly, that's about it. We did
the budget. We did the will. What else really?
Because of the way that we do the budgeting and everything, the decision around you going on maternity leave and then like staying at home afterwards and stuff there wasn't much math involved. It was we already knew that whether the numbers would make sense or anything like that. Mm-hmm. One thing that we did do for the tax planning side for the future when you was on maternity leave, just like we were doing beforehand, was we always separated your income from mine so that we can put that aside and point directly to those funds as your money, so that if we ever needed to or whatever, then there's tax planning opportunities that come along with you having investments as a lower income individual versus it being in my name, things like that. It was but that was already in place. That's not really something we changed because of that.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? Not really.
I feel like that was all we really changed, which is why you're thinking, wow, this is a short episode, like a really short episode. What if we added my part? If people care to learn. My idea was, here's how I would open it. Okay, wait, I had something in my head, and as per usual, I'm like, oh, where is it now? It was like, what would you teach your kid about finances if you were a financial planner? Well, you're about to find out, everybody, because I'm I'm not allowed to say that, am I? This is what you say, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, we can do that then. Quick.
So what would you teach? Or what are your like let's just say like top 3 or top 5 things that you're going to teach Ariyah as a financial planner about money?
Cash flow. I'm not actually sure exactly how we're going to do chores and stuff like that and how we're going to do earning money. Mm-hmm. It's a hard one because you hear and read so many competing things. Mm-hmm. So, for example, one of the things that people talk about is that it's really important to that not every chore is paid, right? Like there's a certain things that are expected of you, and those things are part of being in a family.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there are like extra things that maybe you do pay for and allow them to earn money and do that. One thing that I'm definitely not going to do is just give money for giving money's sake. I think that it's really, really important that you that they have to earn it, right? I'd also really like to encourage some type of entrepreneurship. Not entirely sure how I'm going to do that originally, but that was me for sure. Like when I was during school, I would buy sweets and stuff like that and then go sell it because I didn't get pocket money or anything like that. And that taught me work ethic, look at the world a little bit differently from a really early age. And I think that's really important.
Oh yeah. I never would have done that because I didn't get an allowance either.
What did you do for money?
I would do work, like stuff outside of, like how you said, we didn't have like chores where we would get money. So like I would go help the neighbor, like pick the weeds in between their like stones or whatever.
And they would pay you?
They would pay me. Sometimes it depended. Like, yeah, I'm like, how did I get money? I know I had some.
Did you just
like
get given it?
I don't know, to be honest. Like, I just probably looked for it on the streets. Okay, my childhood was not that bad. I don't know why I'm sounding like...
You had a great childhood.
I had an amazing childhood, yeah. No, I'm just saying, the money side of things, I remember, like I've already said before in the podcast, like I'm a saver. And I remember when I would get money, it was like, I'm never letting this go. But that's not to say like my mom wouldn't, like, I was never wanting for anything majorly. Like I'd have to wait, if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't just be like, oh, I want this toy, and she'd go out and buy it. But if we really wanted something, we would say it, and then we'd wait for like events where we would get presents, if that makes sense. Like grad gift, or like every year we had like a family day kind of thing where we would do gift exchanges and stuff. So we would get things like that. So it's like, it was not like an immediate thing, but I guess I didn't pay for it myself either. So I don't know how you would look at that. Like all my needs were met. So I don't know. I'm like, I didn't really need money.
Yeah.
Mom would just get us what we needed or even wanted, but it wasn't always like
when exactly you wanted it.
Yeah. It wasn't like we had everything just handed to us for sure. Like there was, but I would have money. So anyway, it doesn't matter. This is not about me. I want to cut a lot of that. You're not going to, but I wish you would. Oh yeah, it's too much.
I don't know. I think it's a really important skill to develop. I was talking with a client, and they have a son and a daughter, and the son is extremely responsible when it comes to finances and like is definitely taken after the dad, and then the daughter is a lot more like once or the night is willing to throw money away, right? And it's like, I'm sure part of that is just a personality thing to a degree.
Yep. I think we've talked about that, the like savers versus spenders.
Yeah.
Oh, we just watched that guy talk about what were the words? Ben Felix.
Yeah, saver. Wasn't it saver versus spender?
No, it was like tightwad.
Oh yeah.
And
I can't remember.
Something else.
But it was on the Diary of the CEO.
Yes. What words they used were kind of funny, but it made sense that there's two camps of people and they often ended up with each other in relationships.
Yeah. And that's like the worst type of pairing, because if you both think about money differently, then it's going to create conflict.
Yeah.
Versus two people, at least there's less conflict within the relationship.
Yeah.
We still have to figure out how we approach that type of stuff. But I know it's a hard one. It's raising a child in an environment, like in a privileged environment, when you didn't come from privilege yourself, is like, it's very, because you obviously want them to have the similar values that you have, but part of the values that you have came from not being privileged.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well then you now need to, you're not saying no to things because you can't.
You
because
can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
You're saying no to things because
You're trying to choose their trauma.
Yeah.
You're trying to rub some dirt in it and build character. It's like, now I feel like I'm an abusive parent if I'm like, I'm choosing your suffering for you.
No matter what we do, it's just going to be trauma at some point. It should be either they gave me too much or too little, or there'll be something wrong.
Gosh.
No
It's always, there's no way to do it perfect.
No. But we'll try to be as intentional as we can, I guess.
But it is kind of hard. That's a good point of view. It's like, it's one thing when, because kids ask for things regardless. Like,
of course.
Kids want. So it's one thing to be in a situation where you're
That's
like,
me. I didn't really ask for stuff.
but you wanted, because if you didn't want, you wouldn't have done all the stuff you did to get your pocket money.
Yeah, I just knew the answer ahead of time. So I
you just found a different solution. Didn't mean you didn't want. I feel like that's just the nature of kids. It's like you see things, the more you see, the more you want. So
I remember when I was little, I wanted to build this big Lego set, and I priced out the area, factored out, mathed the area, calculated the area of the Lego that I would need, and the amount of Legos that I would then need to buy in order to build this castle that I wanted to build.
Wait, what do you mean by you factored?
I calculated how many Legos I would need, the square footage of the size of the Lego.
Don't they just come in a
castle.
box?
No, that wasn't how I wanted to build it.
That's you're like, what's the cheapest way I could buy secondhand Lego?
I drew the colors and stuff like that, so I knew how many colors I wanted for each one, and then when I added it, because I didn't go secondhand, I was I priced it out according to legoland.com or whatever, .uk or whatever, and it came out to £2,000 for the.
Oh my god!
It was
where those box sets
not
at?
doing that.
The $100 doesn't seem that bad in person.
At the time, I probably had a total of £20 entirely. I was probably 11, 12 when I did that.
And you're like, I think this will work. Nope.
No, not at all. Yeah, no. So
But I think those things are those things are important for kids.
Yeah.
I remember I did a presentation at a school when I worked with a different credit union, the first credit union I worked with. And I did a presentation at a school, and one of the activities, we had chocolate bars, and we gave each kid a chocolate bar. And we were like, you can either eat that chocolate bar now or save it. And we didn't tell them. And maybe this is I've heard some people be like, dang, that's harsh to kids. Because these are second graders or whatever, fifth grader. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, the kids that ate their chocolate bar, that was it. They got their chocolate bar. The kids that saved their chocolate bar after the presentation got another chocolate bar. I'm like, yeah, are we bad people?
No, that was a lesson that probably stuck with them for a long time.
The instant gratification thing is, such an important. I think that's something, again, for both of our stories, different routes, different ways of doing things or having our wants met. But the lesson of instant gratification was the same. It's just because you want something right now.
Don't mean you get it.
And that's the hard part when you're a parent who is able to give it all right now. Or maybe not all, but you know what I mean? A lot of it. If they want the Lego set, sure, why not? You could.
So that's something I guess I would try to instill in her would be value.
I think that's the biggest thing. I'm obviously not the financial planner in this conversation, but I would definitely say
it's not really a financial planning thing though, right? It's a financial values thing.
But I think people would be like, oh, you're a financial planner. What are you going to teach your child? You're the expert, right? In something.
I would stress the basics. It would be a case of, okay, if we do pocket money in some degree, it would be okay, well, we put some aside for saving, some aside for spending, some aside for giving, we would do that on that's how I would teach her to manage money, right?
Yeah.
I would also teach her really, really early about investing.
Yeah.
Even if that meant you invest it in the bank of dad, and dad doubles your money every 6 months, you're not going to get that in the markets. But I would teach her about the power of delayed gratification as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because again, the way I would see it is Ariyah would inherit anything that I've built, and I would want to make sure that she's a good steward of anything that is left to her.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't make crazy decisions and damage not only her but her family or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fine line. I also don't want to obsess about it,
mm-hmm.
but that I think will depend on her attitude towards those things, because maybe she's naturally like you, right? And she's a lot more cognizant of that type of thing, but who knows.
Well, I want to recap then, because you said a few things, but again, I'm like tying it back to the one core value. Then realistically, it is tied to everything when you're dealing with money, whether it's cash flow, because you said cash flow management, you'll teach her the power of investing, like in the markets. But that all ties back to teaching value, like what is value.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big principle for you regardless, because we've talked about that, like not trading your time necessarily for money. That's like, and viewing money as value. Like I'm trading my value to get value.
Yeah. Using it as a tool instead of seeing it as like assigning so much to it, right?
Yeah. You wanted to say value there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but
it was like too many times. Value.
Yeah, I do. I want her to learn how to see money appropriately, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially in the modern society when it is kind of made up.
Yeah, for sure. Literally, yeah.
A piece of hope.
Yeah.
Hope in a paper form. Yeah. So to view it appropriately and to make good decisions, of course, that's something that I would try to instill. Yeah, absolutely. From an early age. Same for like giving and like having her gift to friends and stuff like that, but work for it herself, right? I will not be her to be giving a gift to a friend and I'm just paying for it. That's like, she will have to contribute to it, right? Whether that's by doing a chore and then she gets a little bit of money and then I'm going to give her the $3 and then she's going to give me back the $3 and when we go to this shop to pick out the $30 toy, probably, because who knows what inflation will be at that point.
Inflation, that's what they cost right now. It's going to be like $300 by then.
But those type of things, like going through the motions, it seems dumb I think maybe to somebody that doesn't.
The CRA
really
does it all the time. They love to make us go through the motions. Let me see the paper trail.
I think it's important that somebody is like they exchange they go out, work hard for something. They then have to go and give that back, right? I think that's very different than dad and mum just buying them the gift to give to their friend. I think it means more, right? When you went out and you earned it. I think it also gives the child a sense of accomplishment. And
for sure.
Like that. So there are things that, I guess I'm hoping to instill in Ariyah. But it will always, as always, it will always start with cash flow. Cash flow. everything comes off the back.
That is not. So. I don't know what I thought you were gonna say, but I don't think it was that. I was like, it all depends on who she is, like as a person.
Cash flow.
It all stems back to cash flow, everyone.
Yeah, that is the cornerstone of finances. If you're gonna do it well, you need to master cash flow.
Yep.
Anyway,
that's it. Hopefully that episode will be live in a few hours.
Perfect. Okay, see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Plain English Finance Podcast. Trey Bino, Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Investment Manager, is a financial planner with TC Wealth Management and Aviso Wealth. You should always consult with your financial, legal, and tax advisors before making changes. This podcast is provided as a general source of information and should not be considered personal investment advice or solicitation to buy or sell any securities. The views expressed are those of the individual and are not necessarily those of Aviso Financial Inc. Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Aviso Wealth, a division of Aviso Financial Inc.